Hey guys, Vincent Giallo here. Welcome back. Good to see ya. Today I've got a review of a late 80s slasher, one of my favorite late 80s slashers. Really good. Late in the slasher cycle, 1988. And that is Hide and Go Shriek. Really, really cool one. First off, this one's put out by 88 Films, guys. I've done quite a few reviews on some of their other stuff as well. Really like this company. They're putting out a lot of cool slashers that weren't available before on Blu-ray. And the prints are really good, and a lot of extras and stuff they throw on these. Really good. We'll review it a bit more at the end about 88 Films and their Blu-rays, etc. But yeah, I've done a few reviews of their stuff. I really, really like it. They are Region B so far, so people in Europe have no problem playing these on their Blu-rays. I have a couple region-free Blu-ray players. They're fairly inexpensive to pick up on Amazon or whatnot, guys, for us in North America. I'd highly recommend it just to watch some of these titles on Blu-ray. Very easy to acquire and really worth it when you've got a quality product like this coming out. So we'll talk a bit more about that at the end. But man, this movie, guys, is terrific. As you guys know, I really, really dig that whole 80s shopping mall kind of vibe, or like department store kind of stuff, where you've got the self-contained set, if you will, for these slashers. I love that. And I really like picking out the stores and looking and going, oh man, I remember this place, or what have you. Now this one isn't really in a mall, but it's the same kind of idea. It takes place in this furniture store. So there's this group of kids who get together, and it's like their all-night graduation party. So they decide to throw it at the one guy's parents. Dad has a furniture store downtown. So, they all decide to get together and get the food and the whole thing and spend the night in this department store. It's really, really cool. And so, interesting right off the top, though, is you see there's some quirky things in this movie. One of them being, just before they kind of head downtown to this department store, you see them all kind of get together and they pull up in a minivan at one guy's house, and they all kind of jump in the van and they drive down the street. And midway down this road they're going, they stop at a light and they all jump out, and there's this weird 80s funky music. They all jump out and start running around the van in like different directions, and then jump back in and then continue on. Strange, kind of a strange scene, quirky, kind of cool, just kind of different. So there's a few little things like that. But once the movie gets going, you see these guys, they go down to the department store, and they, offload all the snacks and the booze and stuff at the back entrance, right? So there's a guy working back there, and like, oh, who's this weird, creepy guy? Like, oh, no big deal. This guy, he got out of jail, and he's good now, though. He needs a place to stay. And so, the father lets this guy sleep in work there, but also sleep in the basement of this store because he has nowhere to go. He just got out of jail, or he's been out of jail for a while, or what have you. But he's working there. So he's like, hey, so and so, can you take these supplies in for me? I'm gonna go talk to my dad. And the guy's like, yeah, sure. He doesn't really talk. He's kind of got that just fresh out of jail kind of awkward thing going on, and a kind of like a scorpion tattoo on his hand. And you see him reach for the box, and they're like, oh, who is this guy, So they offload the box, go around the front, sneak in, and, kind of get in there. And it's about 4:45 or whatever time they're closed. This is 15 minutes before they close. And interesting, it's getting a little bit dark out. I don't know if it was 5 or what, but they get in there, and, the one guy says, yeah, I saw your son here today just a few minutes ago offloading some stuff in the back. He says, oh, it's weird. He must have left. He's like, yeah, whatever, Jim, let's head home and close her up for the day, and what a week and all this. So they shut the place down, and then the movie starts from there. So basically at this point, we've got all these guys, assembled inside this furniture department store, ready for some slaying. So terrific setup. And yeah, things go from there. They start partying and drinking, and it's really cool. It's kind of like part of the furniture department scenes from like shopping malls. It's kind of like that. You got the bed set up and creepy mannequins over here and over there. But the lighting in this movie is spectacular. You've got, it's dark. You can't really see what's in the background, but it's well lit for the scenes that are taking place. So you see the immediate scene, and then the background is kind of dark. So it's really, really well done. You're not kind of trying to see what the hell's going on in the dark. Like quite often in these movies, you're like, what's going on? It's all grainy. Really well shot. And I think part of that's probably, we can thank 88 Films for that as well, because they cleaned it up really good. 2K scan, etc. But the thing I like the most about this is the killer. And so you know, this guy's kind of stalking them, and you're like, well, is it that guy in the basement, the creepy guy? Because you see scenes of him, you know, making dinner down there with like a Bowie knife, and he's like hacking into a steak, and you're like, oh, this guy, you know, maybe he's the guy. But you never really see the killer, which is great. But the cool thing is all the kill scenes, he assumes whoever he kills, he assumes that person's clothing, and maybe grabs a wig if it's a woman, and grabs a wig from like the mannequin. So the next kill that takes place, you know, it's kind of, again, you've got that dark background, so you'll see the silhouette, and you're like, oh, you know, is that you? You know, Jenny or whatever her name was or whatever. And the guy, you know, they just see the shape there, but dressed as that person. So they can't really see if it's that person or if it's somebody else stalking them. But, you know, really cool the way that's set up with the killer, because like I said, you don't really see him. And there's quite often you'll see like the camera will pan and you'll just see like some feet running across in the background. So it's kind of spooky in that way. There's some good jump scenes in it. Not like today's jump scenes where it's like boom and you get this explosion of music and all that. Very, very classy, very tastefully done, you know, late 80s slasher. It's awesome. What else can we say about this one? So basically, you're kind of wondering who's killing all these people and why they're doing it. And then we see scenes of that guy in the basement and stuff. And by the time we kind of figure out what's happened and the final reveal, I can tell you guys, there's absolutely no way you would ever guess the killer. It's, you know, some people like the ending, some people don't, like who the killer is or whatever. But you have no idea of what's coming. You have no idea who the killer is and their motive until the reveal at the end. So in that way, it's quite good. You don't really know what's happening up until the very, very end. Now, the gore in this one, guys, is not over-the-top excessive. There's not excessive gore here, you know, like slings and like, you know, like just sheer brutality, like bloodbath. But, you know, we do get like a decapitation scene by an elevator, if that gives you any indication. So, I mean, it's definitely got, you know, some good stuff going on in this thing. You know, some impalings and, you know, just, yeah, it's cool. Like, it's really, really cool. Again, like, I love the initiation. I love Chopping Mall. I love this kind of stuff. So, this is like right in, you know, right in my wheelhouse, if you will. But the other cool thing is this creepy guy, like I said, he's got this sort of snake tattoo on his hand, and that kind of comes into play later on as well. But also this guy, he kind of looks like Michael Ironside. Well, he looks a hell of a lot like Michael Ironside from, well, just Michael Ironside. But he reminds me of the character he plays in Visiting Hours, which is really cool. So you might want to sort of check for that, because Visiting Hours was kind of a cool one too. It had some kind of cool, creepy stuff going on with Ironside, and this actor in this one is pretty good too. It's kind of that same kind of, like if you took that character of Ironside from Visiting Hours and put him in this movie, I mean, this is basically the same guy. It's unbelievable. But yeah, the ending's really cool. I like it. It's different, like I said, and the killings are really cool in this one. And it's got this whole spooky atmosphere because it's all self-contained. And you know, towards the end, you know, the killer's kind of coming after them, but you never really see his face, so you still don't really know who it is. But like they're trapped inside this thing, they can't get out, and it's a lot of fun, guys. So I would definitely check it out. One of my favorites, Hide and Go Shriek, guys. A really good late 80s slasher. And again, guys, shout out to 88 Films here, because they really clean these up. They do a lot of good releases here. I'll just bring you some of the other ones some of these we've already reviewed. Some of them we have not yet, like Offerings. You know, another great one. I love this one. You know, they did Intruder they put out as well. And a lot of these have some great bonuses, featurettes, you know, supplementary features and things. Nightmares in a Damaged Brain, one of my favorite all time. I mean, just right up there with Maniac for me. Just sleazy and greasy and just fantastic. And then that's the slasher collection. Those are the ones that I have so far. Then of course they have the Italian collection. I'm a big Giallo fan, as you guys know as well. So you know, Blade in the Dark is one of my favorites. It was nice of them to release that one. Cold Blooded Beast, we did the review of that one just a little while ago. Really, really sleazy, kind of greasy Giallo. I love it. Klaus Kinski in it. You know, what else can you say, right? And Eyeball. I haven't unwrapped this one yet, but another classic Giallo, guys. So you know, they put out some good quality product. Again, if you're in North America, you will need a Region B player or a multi-region player, which you can pick up off Amazon. Like I said, I've picked up a couple now. They're usually like a Sony or something, and they're modified. But they're great because you can play all three regions, A, B, and C. and it does play, you know, your DVDs, all regions, 7, 8, 9 regions or whatever DVD as well. So it's really good to have. But shout out to 88 Films on those. Just keep them coming, guys, because they're really, really great. And these are some of the great slashers. You know, it's nice to see them being released. But anyways, guys, Hide and Go Shriek. I guys hope you guys really enjoyed that review. Leave some comments below if you've seen any of these, particularly this one, guys, or you know what your thoughts on it. Again, I love it. It's great. It's cheesy. It's kind of, you know, it's got the full thing going on. It's spectacular stuff, guys. Please subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know when the next videos are coming out, whether we do, you know, more horror reviews or some of my VHS hauls that I do, VHS collection updates, Blu-ray collection updates, stuff like that. Stay tuned for that, guys. Subscribe and thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, and we will talk to you guys very soon on the next one. Take care, guys. Thank you.